Module 1, Lesson 11, changing between standard form, word form, and expanded form. So standard form is the regular way that we write a number. So when you see a number like this, that is the standard form. It's the way that we know numbers. And word form, the clue right in the name of it, is the words. So as I would read the number, 6,542. Exactly how I read it, that's how I would write it, and that's word form. So now we're going to just practice going between the two. So if I have standard form, I'm going to read my number, which is 84,000. I'm going to stop at the 1,000 and write that. 84,000. Now I'm going to read the rest of it, 214. So I write 214. And now I've converted between standard form into word form. Sometimes I'm given the words and I have to turn them into standard form. So I do the same method that I just did before. I read 27,000, so I know that's where I have to stop at the comma, which tells me 1,000. 27,000, and now I read the rest. 908. This is how I write 908. Please be careful and make sure that you're reading your words correctly and that it's 8, it is not 80. Now, I have two examples with decimals, which has changed a little. I have to put these into word form. So the first thing I do is I read everything which is a whole number to the left of the decimal. That is 4. And now the decimal tells me something. The decimal tells me to use the word and. So it's 4 and. And now I read the right part of the decimal, which is the fractional part. It says 73. And we have to keep going after the 73. It can't just be 73. It's 73, and what place value is this right here? This is the hundredths, so it's 73 hundredths. You need to make sure that you have the THS on the end so that it is correct. Here's another example. I start with my left side of the decimal, which is 65. And then my decimal right here tells me the word and I read my next part, which is 89, and this right here is the thousandths place, so I write 89 thousandths. This time, they've given me the word form, and I need to convert it to standard form. I do it very similar. So there's this word and, which I know is the decimal. So I'm going to put the decimal down. Everything to the left goes on the left side of the decimal, so I have the number 3. And everything to the right goes on the right side of the decimal, 5 hundredths. So I know this is tenths, this is hundredths. So my 5 has to end in the hundredths place. So what number can I fill in here to make my number correct? I can fill in a 0. Once again, I have 2010 and. So the and tells me I need a decimal. So I go back again. This is 2010. The way I write that is 2010. And now I look at the right side of the decimal. It's 75 thousandths. So I know it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Has to end in thousandths. So I write it that way and I have to fill in a 0 again. And there's my 2010 and 75 thousandths. Next is expanded form. This is a review as well. An expanded form for 5th grade. We look at the largest place value, which is the thousandths place, thousands, and there's a digit 4 there. It's the thousands place, so I write 4 times 1,000. That's how I get that value. I add that to the next number, which is right here, which is a 3. That is in the hundreds place, so I multiply it times 100. Then I move on to the 2, which is in the tens place, and I multiply that by 10. And the last digit I move on to is the 7, which is the ones place. And that's taking my standard form and turning it into expanded form. Here's another example. This time my largest place value is the 10,000s. So I do 6 times 10,000. And I add that to my next digit, which is a 4. And that's the thousands place, so it's 4 times 1,000. And and I add that to my next digit, which is a 9, which is in the hundreds place, so it's 9 times 100. And then I have this 0 here. I don't need to do anything for the 0, I can skip that. So then I go to the ones place, which is 7 times 1. Sometimes they give you the expanded form and you need to turn it into standard form. So the first thing I do is I look at my largest place value. I'm in the 10,000s, so this is 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. I leave a space there. So in the 10,000s place, I have a 4. Then I find the thousands place, I have a 3. Then I find the hundreds place, there's a 2. Then I find the tens place, there's a 6. And the last digit is an 8. And now I've made my number of 43,268. Some of you might be asking, why would you draw your lines to help you? And now I'm going to show you one that will give you the reason. So my next problem, thousands is the biggest place. So it's thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. There is a 7 in the thousands place. The next place value is my tens. So I have to skip all the way over to here, which is my tens. And then a 5 is in the ones place. So you have to ask yourself, what digit would I fill in there? It's a 0. So because some of the digits are not shown because they're zeros, I want to make sure that I put my lines to help me with my place value. They're just a strategy to help. Now when I have decimals, it's very similar. When I have decimals, it's the same thing. Here's my 3. That is my tens place. And I add that to my 2, which is in my ones place. And now we come over to the tenths place. When I do that, I can do it one of two ways. I can do it by saying 4 times, and that is 1/10, or I can write it as 4 times 1/10. And then I'm going to add that to my 8, and that's in the hundredths place. So I can do the same thing. This is hundredths, or I can write it this way, which is also 8 times 1/100. Another example is right down here. We have a 6, which is in the ones place. We always have to make sure we're paying attention to whether it is a decimal or a comma. That is a decimal. So then I'm going to add it to my 3, which is in my hundredths place. So I can write it either of these ways. And I'm going to add that to my 5, which is in my thousandths place. Next, sometimes again, you have it in expanded form. You have to turn it into your standard form. So I again look at my largest place value, which is tens. And there's my decimal. And I look at the smallest place value I go out to 100ths. So I have an 8 in my tens place, a 4 in my ones place, and then I have a 3 in my tenths place, and I have an 8 in my hundredths place. And I look at the last question. I go out to my hundreds, so hundreds, tens, ones. And then I go all the way out to thousands out here, so I have to go tenths, hundredths, thousands. So I have a 7 in my hundreds place. I have nothing in my tens place. I skipped to my ones place, so that's a 3 there. And I have a 4 in my tenths place, a 6 in my hundredths, and a 5 in my thousandths. And I have to fill a 0 in right there. That is how I convert between all three forms, standard, expanded, and word.